at Pax Prime in Seattle. We'll talk Bioshock Infinite with designer Ken Levine and introduce you to the game's voice talent.
Plus, we have got an exclusive look at Kinect Sports Season 2 and a review of Madden NFL 12. X-Play All Access Pax Prime starts right now!
X-Play All Access Pax Prime, brought to you by Gamefly. I'm Adam Sessler.
And I am Morgan Webb, and we are coming to you from the Washington State Convention Center in Seattle.
All right, coming up on today's show, we'll introduce you to the lead voice actors of Bioshock Infinite and Will Work for Games. Then we've got a gameplay preview of Starhawk. Would you like to see some space combat? Yeah, I thought you would.
Plus, we are going to review the Ico and Shadow of the Colossus collection. 2 classic games in HD, $40, not a bad deal. And later, Casey Schreider dishes out the latest on Guild Wars 2 and Star Wars The Old Republic in the MMO report.
But first, it's time to talk skyhooks and unbearable weights.
Okay, there is no firm release date for Bioshock Infinite. We might get our hands on it in 2012 if we're lucky.
We have to. But anyway, that doesn't stop Ken Levine from talking about the game at PAX, because he is a cruel man. I'm so happy to be joined by the creative director of Irrational Games, Ken Levine. Thank you so much.
Hello.
I think the most clear distinction between the original Bioshock and this game is the presence of characters right in front of you in the world. When did you decide to make that big jump from the original Bioshock?
We kind of had to rethink what we did, and it was a tool we had used and we had relied upon before, that you were sort of this non-character. And once we didn't have that, we kind of scratched our heads and said, well, what are we going to do? And we decided to run as far as we could in the opposite direction and say, well, not only are you going to be a specific character, Booker DeWitt, you're going to have this woman with you, Elizabeth, and they're going to have a relationship.
You will not let him take me back.
And I think all the time when you try to do something different than you've done before, you're running up against both the new problems that presents, but also the new opportunities it presents.
Whatever you're doing, do it fast!
What were the things that you really needed to focus on so that you could show the character growth, but also not tire out the player?
I think that, we really wanted to have these characters interacting, but we want to have it in a way that wasn't in a cutscene and actually had exchanges between these two characters. So you have to sort of account for all these dozens and dozens of different things they can do and build systems that support that. We're creating a library of content, but how and when those things play and if they play is very dynamically driven upon the player's actions.
We're close!
And depending on the actions each player makes, the game's AI will respond in completely different ways.
We don't want to record tons and tons of content and never be able to present to players, so we have basically this opportunistic system working with all the AIs where they're sort of looking for moments where they can see, okay, what cool things can I do right now?
Just with this small snippet, I think it's indicative of the fact that this game just sounds absolutely fascinating.
3 cheers for us, eh?
What are your hopes and intentions of Bioshock coming out?
Next year.
Next year. Well, I cannot wait. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Adam.
Are you ready for some football? You're not? Then you must not like the country you live in. Move to China. Let's talk Madden NFL 12. This year's edition features new plays, an improved tackling system, and a Cleveland Brown on the cover. Let me repeat that. A Cleveland Brown on the cover. What?
Yeah, you know what this song means. It's time. Madden NFL 12.
Touchdown, Green Bay! He's open in the end zone!
Sadly, the uncertainty from the real world and the NFL lockout seems to have affected Madden. It feels like there was too much work to get done at the last moment, leaving the game with a hollow feel, as if something's missing.
Something went wrong on that play.
Don't get us wrong, it's not a dog. Far from it, in fact. It's still beautiful, the cinematics, the player intros, all great.
These two teams obviously match up very well against each other.
But it does feel like the franchise has taken a few steps backwards, which is a bit disappointing.
And they got him!
Returning from last year is the game flow system, where coordinators can call the plays for the teams. Just press A and send in the coordinator plays. Unfortunately, the coordinators, like in Detroit, are usually wrong. It seems they pick the same 5 plays over and over. There's dozens of plays to choose from here, people. Use them!
Still looking for an open man.
The wishes of the fans have been answered with some new features added to the fun. The new collision system leads to even more vicious hits.
He's dropped, and that's a huge sack.
There are 100 new tackle animations here. Ray Lewis is a happy man. Quite possibly the biggest new addition has to be the cut days, where gamers can cut their 75-man roster throughout the preseason. Who doesn't like taking away a player's dreams by cutting him? It's empowering. Free agency has obviously been beefed up to compare with what happened with the wild, wild west feel of the recent NFL offseason. Just who is losing money in football anyway?
Watch out!
Madden also knows that online competition is crucial.
In heavy traffic.
This year's game has head-to-head and 3-on-3 online co-op, plus a new feature, online communities, where players can join others who share the dream of online football and play ranked matches. But there were lag issues with online play. Madden should rise above all that at this point.
Yeah, not a lot of pretense on that play.
So basically, there's a lot of new content here, but the game itself, you know, the important part, just seems meh. Fans will buy it, it's the only football game out there, and the Maddenites, no doubt, will love it. We hope next year is better.
He can be a dominant player in this league.
Madden NFL 12 gets 3 Drew Brees touchdowns.
He's open in the end zone. Touchdown! And he will score.
Out of 5.
The San Diego Superchargers are Super Bowl 46 champion.
Kinect Sports Season 2 will have you jumping around your living room this October and gives you 6 more sports to play. Absolutely no repeats from the last one. Microsoft is here showing off the game, and I got an exclusive look at baseball's home run derby mode. Oh, hey guys, don't mind me. I'm just warming up because I'm about to get my hands on Kinect Sports Season 2. I don't want to pull a hammy, you know. I'm here with Harry Robinson, producer at Rare and Kinect Sports Season 2. Hey Harry, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Wonderful. Tell me, what new challenges are we going to be facing in Kinect Sports Season 2?
Okay, so the new challenges, we've got 6 brand new sports. So we've got baseball, tennis, American football, skiing, darts, and golf.
Tell me about Home Run Hero mode. I hear I'm getting an exclusive look. Is this correct?
That's absolutely correct, yes. Home Run Hero is one of our activities. So in Kinect Sports Season 1, they were called mini games. Here we sort of call them activities, and they're sort of fun little games that you can all just jump into, and they're not the main game, so they're sort of a unique spin on the rules and sort of a little bit more crazy. Plus, we're just really awesome fun to be able to get in and get competitive.
Well, I'm ready to get in and get competitive, so let's go. I got tricks that you haven't seen. This is our pastime.
Yeah.
You got the tea and crumpets, we got baseball. All right, Harry, well, now that I crushed you in Kinect Sports Season 2, when is the release date?
So the game comes out 25th of October this year.
Okay, awesome. You know, you're not bad for a Brit. All right, coming up after the break, we have got a preview of the PS3 exclusive Starhawk. Plus, we're going to meet the lead voice actors behind Bioshock Infinite in Will Work for Games.
Then we'll review the spiffed up Ico and Shadow the Colossus collection. And later, Casey Schreiner has all the latest news in this week's edition of the MMO Report. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. That felt good. All right, here's the deal. It's pretty easy to fire off a snarky email to XPlay and be confident that you'll be protected by the anonymity of the internet. Well, guess what, my friends? Your computer won't help you today. You want to ask us a question, you got to ask us to our faces. Somebody took a courage pill, and they're going to ask us a question in person.
Yes, joining us now is Bijan. Thank you so much for having a question for us.
Hi. So I was wondering why you think people hate Carmine so much and whether you think he's going to live or die in Gears 3.
I don't hate Carmine. I just think he should die. Because I respect tradition.
If there is a pattern of death and you violate it, it could open up a vortex.
Exactly.
And something terrible could happen.
Yeah, you got to worry about vortexes.
I'm getting the sense that you like Carmine, you like to see him
I have
live.
a little bit of a personal invested interest in,
I was gathering
in that.
that.
So, yeah, I would prefer to have him not die.
So, like, the night before you finally finish Gears 3, I mean, is it going to be, like, moments of great anxiety for you?
Yeah, I'm already shaking in anticipation. I know what's going to happen.
It's a great question, and we really appreciate it. And for your question, Gamefly, if you will, sir, present him.
Yes, you get a free 1-year membership of video game rentals from Gamefly, courtesy, of course, of Gamefly.
Oh, that's amazing.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll give you guys some too. Is that good? Yeah. We're not giving them any.
That was a lie. All right, Starhawk was our pick for best multiplayer game at E3 2011. The game is wall-to-wall combat and totally frantic.
And the battles aren't just limited to the ground. You can also take the fight to space. Here's a preview.
From the people who brought you the PS3 multiplayer hit Warhawk comes its spiritual successor, Starhawk. We caught up with Lightbox Interactive senior producer Harvard Bonin for an inside look. So, how are people actually playing Starhawk? Is it like you expected them to?
Pretty much. They all suck right now. They are playing it like you would play a really fun shooter. And what they haven't realized, because we kind of roll them in there, they play for one round, and they haven't really, found the depths of the game, and there's so much to it.
Although Starhawk looks like a classic third-person shooter, there are some new toys to play with on this battlefield that set it apart from the pack. You are now given an options menu of structures and weapons that can be dropped onto the field of battle. If a wave of enemies is heading your way, then place a wall or gate to stop them in their tracks. Want to take to the air? Then drop down a build station that can construct a transforming Mech-Hawk hybrid. The choices you make are essential to winning the war.
We call it the build and battle system, and you can build all sorts of things. Things like bunkers and garages and mechs and all blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's so many toys in the toy box. You can upgrade this stuff. It is a shooter's shooter. Believe me, it's a game for shooters.
Returning to the series is the single-player campaign mode. In the last game, all that was offered was multiplayer, where you could play with up to 32 players, but Lightbox thought it was time for single-player to make a comeback.
We did that so the players could really experience the universe. Warhawk never had solo. It was online only, and while it was really fun, we've often described it like kind of like a hard candy in that it was really kind of gooey and sweet on the inside if you could get through that hard shell. But really, a lot of people just didn't bother.
All right, when is the game coming out?
Well, it'll be somewhere in 2012.
So 2012.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, thank you very much for showing us Starhawk.
Thank you very much.
The first Bioshock put you in the role of a silent protagonist, and your journey was a lonely one. In Bioshock Infinite, you're playing as the very talkative Booker DeWitt, and you're tasked with rescuing the equally talkative Elizabeth. There's a whole lot of voice work going on, and actors that bring those roles to life.
Hey, I'm Troy Baker.
Hi, I'm Courtney Draper.
And I play Booker DeWitt.
I play Elizabeth in Bioshock Infinite.
Video games have come a long way. Gone are the days of cheesy full-motion cutscenes and poorly translated dialogue.
I am Vincent. It was all my fault.
Today's scripts rival any Hollywood blockbuster and require more than simple line readings to push the narrative forward.
That is an oath you cannot keep.
An actor in a video game, the whole job is to bring that character to life and make it the most realistic, immersive experience as it can for the player.
Well, would you look at this?
Because it's no longer just a side-scrolling action like Mario jumping up and down anymore. It's actually someone you really need to care about and go along this journey with.
He's in pain.
Not for long.
In the case of Bioshock Infinite, creative director Ken Levine is open to working with the actors' performances to help shape the story.
Let him take me back.
In many video games, the voiceover recording session can be a stagnant and uncreative step in the game-making process, but Levine has taken a different approach to how his sessions are run.
Troy and I get to play off of each other, and then maybe Ken sees that in that dynamic, a different element that he hadn't considered when he originally wrote the script.
Elizabeth, it's just an animal.
I can control it this time.
Ken's given us a lot of latitude, and it's more of a collaborative effort than I think I've ever had.
We're playing out your story. We're all creating it together, but if you have something in your mind, I have no ego.
And for Bioshock Infinite's recording sessions, the actors needed to bring a full range of emotions to the table, which sometimes required a little extra motivation to get the best performances.
What can we do without killing your voice?
I don't know. Ken and Troy came up with this kind of acting exercise, which we've used a lot in other projects of this improv and trying to help me get there emotionally.
Pull it the together. You've either got this or you don't. The are you thinking? Don't laugh.
Okay, you were right. I can't control it. It's not possible.
It was a hard process getting to that moment. So to see that go from where we started to where it ended up in the demo, that's pretty rewarding.
It's just an amazing experience, and I'm very grateful to be working with such a group of people.
Elizabeth?
3 cheers for us, eh?
Stick around, we'll have more from Pax Prime in just a minute, including a review of the Ico and Shadow of the Colossus collection. Plus, Casey Schreiner's got the latest on the MMOs, Guild Wars 2 and Star Wars The Old Republic. We'll be right back.
X-Play All Access Pax Prime is brought to you by GameFly, video game rentals delivered to your door.
$60 for a new game is often a crapshoot, and nothing stings more than finding out you wasted your money.
So if you're looking for a sure thing, why not check out the Ico and Shadow of the Colossus collection? 2 classic games, great visuals, $40.
Here's our review.
Artsy game fans, rejoice. 2 of the most beloved gems of the PlayStation 2 library have finally been resurrected in the Ico and Shadow of the Colossus collection. Ico tells the story of a boy with horns, condemned as a sacrifice due to his physical abnormality. He is accidentally set free and hooks up with a mysterious girl named Yorda. Together they attempt to escape the ancient castle they're trapped in before the supremely creepy Dark Queen can, well, do whatever it is she intends to do with them. It is a beautiful, ethereal game full of clever puzzles and surprisingly human moments between the 2 mostly silent protagonists. One note of interest for fans is that this is actually the European version of Ico, which means it not only includes the secret ending that was cut from the US PS2 release, but also has a couple of minor level design changes. Shadow of the Colossus is a much larger and more ambitious game. A young warrior enters a forbidden land with the corpse of a maiden he wishes restored to life. The resident demon agrees, but only if the warrior will kill 16 colossi scattered about the land. Unlike the PS2 version, the epic clashes with the colossi now run smoothly, with no slowdown or frame rate problems. It's not as dramatic a visual upgrade as Ico, but to finally see this masterpiece of a game running on hardware that can do it justice is worth the price of admission all by itself. These are 2 truly outstanding titles, and anyone with a love of gaming should play them at least once. There is an element of care and honesty in them that is all too rare in the medium, and they've never looked or played better. The Ico and Shadow of the Colossus collection gets a 5 out of 5.
Okay, I know we're on the road this week, but don't worry, MMO fans. We know what you want. We know what you want.
Here's news omnivore Casey Schreiner with this week's edition of the MMO Report.
Thank you, ladies. Well, we're back from PAX, and as expected, Guild Wars 2 had an enormous presence on the show floor this year, showing off a huge boss fight against an undead dragon, their new dodge meter, the elimination of energy management, and their open crafting system that encourages experimentation. They had one of the busiest booths at the convention. With a closed beta approaching at the end of this year, one would think that ArenaNet would be ready to announce an official release date, or at least a target season. But they didn't, so go ahead and keep thinking, smarty pants. And finally, Star Wars The Old Republic had one of the biggest panels at PAX this year, debuting plans for open world PvP and their weekend beta events. SWTOR's Open PvP was shown on the snow planet ENunn, where players can pilot siege weapons, pick up rocket launchers, and call in bombing runs over their enemy's base. The beta weekends will continue through the month of September, leading up to the game's release this holiday season, which is still pretty vague considering that's only months away. But whatever, it's Star Wars, and you're gonna play it, no matter what Vader says. For our entire PAX MMO special and brand new episodes of the MMO Report every Thursday afternoon, check out g4tv.com/MMO. Plus, since I have to go back to Seraph Industries so they can finish work on my robot arm, let's check out what's coming up on XPlay.
This Saturday, XPlay All Access PAX Prime continues with a look at the return of Master Chief in Halo 4. Plus, we'll show you what it takes to run the Penny Arcade empire in Will Work for Games. Then we'll talk the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Don't miss it.
Plus some delightful XPlay comedy.
Yeah, this one gives you a very accurate behind-the-scenes look.
Very accurate.
And remember to tune in on Saturday because we will be at Halo Fest.
Thank you for watching XPlay.